Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make the arguably best hunter build in the game currently. It is a melee based arc build and it offers great damage reduction, health and ability regen, as well as ridiculous burst damage. Moving on to the build proper, you're going to want to equip the arc subclass, which whatever super you prefer. I mostly go for Gathering Storm as it offers great damage for very little gameplay investment and is great for damage phases. When it comes to your dodge, equip Gambler's Dodge, as it will help you get your melee ability back whenever you dodge near an enemy. When it comes to your jump, equip whichever you prefer. But I do know that if you choose Blink, you belong in an asylum, because you're an absolute psychopath. Finally, for melee and grenade, there's really only one option, being Combination Blow and to stack up melee damage, and Flashbang Grenade for that stun on unstoppable champions. For your aspect, equip Flow State and Lethal Current for that great jolting potential and mutual synergy. This is basically an infinite jolt source if used correctly, and as jolt scales, which whatever applied it, it's a source of massive damage as well. When it comes to your fragments, your main three are going to be Spark of Feedback, Spark of Amplitude, and Spark of Resistance. Each of these will offer valuable damage, orb generation, and damage resistance while surrounded respectively. Spark of Feedback specifically is a 50% damage bonus for 5 seconds to any melee damage. And yes, it stacks with all other melee damage boosting effects, making it incredibly useful when clearing large groups of aggressive enemies like thralls or acolytes. Moving on to armor, your main two stats that you're going to be focusing on is Resilience and Discipline, for that damage resistance and grenade recharge rate. For mods, on the helmet, equip whichever stat boosting mod you desire, as well as 3 hands-on mod for massive super regen on every melee kill. Moving on to arms, here I use Liar's Handshake for further damage and health regen, but feel free to use any armor piece you desire. Just know that some of them won't be nearly as useful as Liar's Handshake or Star Eater Scales. The main mod of interest here is of course Heavy Handed, giving you orb regeneration and on-charge melee kills. The rest of the mods are up to your personal preference, but I like to equip a Kickstart mod for even more ability spam. For the chest piece, equip any resistance mod you want. These offer relatively cheap, cost-effective resistance for a great variety of damage types. Additionally, equip Emergency Reinforcement in case you're ever in a low health pinch. For the leg armor, equip both Innervation and Recuperation for both great health regen and grenade regen. Once again, the rest of the mods you can suit to your liking. I'm simply offering you a skeleton of a build that you can further expand on if you wish. Finally, for the class item, equip Reaper and Powerful Attraction. This will give you even more orb generation and automatically pick them up when you dodge. For the weapons, equip any double special combo you prefer. I like to go with at least one 1-2 punch shotgun for even more melee damage. The weapons are very flexible, pretty much anything will work with this. Although be aware that arc special and heavy weapons have a really good synergy with this, letting you be amplified on double kills. In my heavy, I use Tractor Cannon for debuffs, because it's never failed me so far. When it comes to the artifact, for this season specifically, that being Season of the Deep at time of recording, you're going to want to equip anything that buffs arc and melee. The artifact being temporary, however, don't worry if the current one doesn't have any of these sorts of buff. The build works great even without them. Finally, let's move on to the gameplay. Your main focus should simply be to keep Combination Blow at a 3x stack. Without this, your melee damage won't be very good, and you'll struggle to reap the benefits of this build, especially the health regen. In this example, of a solo Master Lost Sector, I choose to stack on these poor red bar thralls who just happen to be there. One important detail is that I let them hit me first to proc Spark of Feedback, thus letting me one-shot him. The major issue with this build is that building up Combination Blow can be frustrating, as kills with Jolt won't refresh the buff. This is why you have to go for the one-shot when stacking to guarantee that the ability procs. Moving to the next room, I quickly stun the Unstop with a Flashbang and burst him down with a melee. After this, I focus on getting my super for the next part. You may have noticed that the regen on it is absurdly high thanks to this hands-on mod that we equipped earlier. Furthermore, thanks to Powerful Attraction, you can see that every orb I generate gets picked up after a dodge. Since you dodge so often, and get your melee back, it's mostly guaranteed that you'll collect all the orbs you generate. Rinse and repeat that gameplay loop. Melee, dodge, occasionally pop a super, rinse and repeat. Your leg armor mods will provide you with constant health regen and grenade regeneration, so don't worry about ever running out of both. Also, don't hesitate to spam your super, you'll get it back within the minute, and even less if Star Eater Scales is equipped. Another benefit of this build is that it's extremely flexible. Mix and match weapons, exotics, whatever you want. As long as the subclass stays the same, the build works great. I personally often replace Slice Handshake with Starry Scales for even more super damage and super regeneration. Being amplified on Hunter also maxes out your reload speed, which is great for spamming rockets, for example. On this screenshot, you can see me dealing over 7 million damage using Starry Scales and spamming held headshots, no Galahorn required. You'll also notice a frankly ridiculous amount of orbs created thanks to Reaper and Heavy Handed. Finally, beating a double special base build, you'll enjoy up to 32 times more heavy ammo drops, so don't worry about ever running out. In this clip, you can see what 3 damage phases of Ekthar got me. It's absolute madness, if you ask me. Thank you for watching, Guardians. Have fun out there.